Good day, everyone. Thank you for joining us wherever you are watching us from all around the world. This is Afric Project, and it's a pleasure to have one of the set of the legendaries, from Africa, who happens to be no other person than Moses and David. So they are one of the first set of the Afric Project Luminary person for the month, and I'm very happy to have them on board. And I am very sure that this short session you are going to have with us on the screen is going to worth it as to how Africa is being positioned to the global world in terms of innovation and strategy. All right, so I have the pleasure of having David and Moses on the call. Hi, David. Are you there? Can you hear me? If you are there, you can unmute so that yes.
Hi.
Yeah. Is it good to know? Is it good to know who is David? Who is Moses? Can you just introduce yourself briefly for the audience?
Okay. My name is David, and I'm Moses.
Perfect. You are welcome. So that's David, Gathu, and Moses Kiuna. Did I call that correctly?
Moses Kiuna.
Yeah, that's good. So, and like I said earlier, it's very wonderful having legendary like you on board, who happens to, be a pioneer of coming from zero to hero. Having somebody to build something very innovative from e-waste to something that is global. All right, so going straight into this session, I'm just going to go through a few questions, which I believe that our audience will find very interesting as to how the how Africans are making and paving ways for the people coming after them. All right, so first and foremost, I'm just going to ask you guys to I will throw this to David. If you are looking at the very first moment, going back to the very first moment that you guys thought about, we can build this prosthetic arm. So what sparked that idea? What was the thing that sparked the idea from you? I want David to go first.
Okay, thank you very much. The first idea that hit the mind back then, before now, we came up with this prosthetic arm, this robotic prosthetic arm, which is being controlled, where part of the machine has to be put on the body of a human being in order to control something using your intention. Now, let's say specifically for persons living with disability. The first idea came because one of our, let's say, a classmate, she was a girl, she was amputated, and we could see how it was a problem writing or expressing herself. Being one person in our class, having that problem, let's say a problem, being like other people who have who are free-armed, they can walk, they can lift their arms, they can dance, but she could not. You could find even some other guys, the mocker of the class, who mocked the girl. She can't dance like others, or she can't light. The only thing she has to sit. One of her right arm was disarticulated, and the left arm has a problem too, because some few fingers, they were not working. Let's say she could not even light well using her left hand, and it struck a note in the mind. It can be solved. Something can be put on her to enhance her to be able to regain the let's say to be almost a fully functioning human being with all let's say both hands. And since there, she became a friend, because the way we treated her, it is not like the way other guys were treating her, because she had a special talent. She could sing, and she was having that feeling. If she had all the heart functioning, she can do different styles using her hands. And let's say the idea didn't come at that right moment. It took like several years before, let's say like 2 years, still while we were in primary school. That time we were in primary school, we were in standard 3, the grade 3 now. And now, this girl, because of the way I used to draw, I'm an artist. I used to draw the robot. I know you know the movie of Robocop, the guy with the machine, a man who has been has those like exoskeleton, like with human body, or with now can't relate. Now I stood let's say a thought came of creating a blueprint on how a machine can interpret with a human being at a cellular level, creating a maximum compact security, creating a hybrid human half machine. But it was on a theoretical form now before I introduced it to Moses. Then I came to find Moses, my cousin. He has the same mind, the same thought of that creativity, sharpness. Now we shared the idea, and due to that commitment and connection, uh, we thought of making it a reality. But the funniest thing is that we had no resource. We didn't know where to take the path from, but we had the mind and the idea. But we thought of if we can use the available resources, we can design something that will be the first, let's say the first prototype in those ages, in those times, because we were very young by then. We were allowed 14 years, 13, 14 years by then. Now, we thought of creating a movement. The first, we didn't call it robot, but we thought of if I had a cat and she's trying to move that hand, meaning there are all those bunch of signals. By then, we never knew how those signals were before we started doing research. The extensions of those signals from the brain, they are all there, but the hand is not there to now complete the action. Now, we created the prototype, of which it wasn't connecting directly to the mainstream, that is the peripheral nervous system. We created the first hand that was moved by the motion of the desaturated hand. If the hand would live, by then we created gyroscope, where a gravitational pull would appeal to the sensor to locate a certain conveyed digital output to create an action when this digital signal is converted to analog, to linear motion, that is to drive like a motor. So the first thing was like, it wasn't that great mind controlling the arm. It was first the straight mind lifting the arm. By that time it is tilting the arm up sideways or down. The gyroscope will change the position, switching different sections of the peripheral outputs of a digital circuit to control a linear motor. Now, as the days comes by, we started doing the neuroscience research, and it gave all the way it turned out. It was like so familiar. We were like so familiar with the idea, but by dipping, let's say by digging deep to the research, we found out that these signals that are released from the Yeah, we thought of these signals, if they are so familiar with the signals that are related on electronic circuit, there's a way the bionic or the, let's say the bioelectrical signal, there's a way they can be converted or something to listen to them, then convert or mimic the output signal from the biological body, now converting them now to a physical electronic circuit. Now, we thought of creating that barrier between the biological and the electronic. We thought of creating a machine that will have the way to amplify those signals, convert them using the DACs and ADCs to be an electronic circuit, to be an electrical signal to drive electronic circuit.
That's very fantastic. A lot of things that you mentioned here are something that really worth celebrating, really. And for you mentioned things around when you were around 14 years thereabout. Then you have a girl who has a disability, and people were mocking her, and that was the thing that triggered the concept of what can we do to help this person, even though there is a form of disability, but then this person can still function well as every other person would do. And I love that idea because there are a lot of people that are, as it were, kind of disadvantaged because of one disability or the other. But by the reason of technology, we can leverage on it to make everybody equal in a way. All right, thank you so much for that. That's a lot, and I like the part of bridging the gap between biological and then the electronics. Trying to put a bridge between the two, and that's very fantastic. Thank you so much. All right, so I think most of us go forward. Before this invention that we are talking about, what were the things that your background used to help you in terms of problem solving? Your background, how was it able to shape your problem solving, the way you approach problem? What was the advantage your background gave to that?
Now, right here in Kenya, we have a lot of e-waste materials because as technology is developing, you find the old technology for us when we see discarded items. Because when you go to to the dump site, you see computer, radio, television, the old technology. Now for us, we didn't have money to go and buy the new items that maybe we may need to develop a technology. So we used that opportunity to go and we get some few coins, because naturally we are gifted we can repair anything in electronics. We can repair TV, fridges, we can repair just anything in the electronic sector. And also we are born talented in that field. So when we see a motherboard, instead of thinking the way it's supposed to be, we try to convert and come up with our own schematics on how can we combine maybe a motherboard from a computer, an old computer, and now we come with other gadgets and add our own circuits now to get the results that we desire. Because even if you look for those motherboards in the market, they are easy. The one that you want it to be, the way you want it to program it to maybe to have another function. For now, we have been able to come up with almost 20 projects from e-waste. And we are also advocating on how we can go to school and make sure we can help the kids right here on how they can start from zero. You don't have to say you don't have the materials, you don't have the laptop. No, you can start from where you are. Yeah.
I love that idea of starting from where you are, making use of things that are available. And that's what you did, where, you've seen a lot of waste materials around spoiled computers, spoiled, gadget and all of that. That was what triggered the idea. You solving the problem that we are talking about. That's very fantastic. All right. So now, when we say that, just building on what you said last, that a lot of people will think that they don't have resources, they don't have this, they don't have that. What were the biggest obstacles that you guys faced? Looking at this project that we are talking about, how did you overcome all of these the problems, obstacles along the way? Are there problems that you faced? Are there obstacles that came your way? What can you mention, like one or two of the biggest challenges that you faced while this project was coming up?
The biggest challenges that we face were the lack of, the lack of resources. And also, to balance now your life, because when you go to the lab where we usually do in our grandmother, you find there is no that you can spend like 2 days or 3 days doing the same thing over and over again. Because we do break and make. We can make a project and see now those materials that we have used in the past project, we need now to break that project and build another one because we lack now the materials. And also there have been challenges like when you share your idea with some people, they say, you can't do that. That is impossible. And for us, until we try it out and see it can't work, that's when we conclude now it is impossible. But in the future, it will be possible. Yeah. Now, the other challenge was that if, let's say, we have the idea is so cool, meaning we can see it. Now, money was something that was very headache, a problem. The way Moses has said, balancing between ourselves, the way we live, what we need to eat, that is, what we need to wear, and the way we approach the guy who is maybe selling certain motherboards out there. You find because of lack of that kind of a resource, you don't gain that proper way of thinking. Because tripping with something in your mind, you want to complete it, and the only thing that is protecting you from doing it is hard cash. Or maybe talking to the guy, you have the money maybe to buy something, but the guy there, he has the resource, but he doesn't want to sell it to you, simply because he knows the capability you have. Now, that thing made us now to relocate and go to now dump site, where now they throw those gadgets without caring, thinking it's a lavish to them. To us, now it became like transforming the trash now into a gold mine. Yeah.
Thank you very much. So that was speaking to the idea of you having financial capacity to really match up with the industry, people in the industry doing things around what you are doing. That's what you just spoke about. I remember Moses spoke about the ability to balance your personal life and the innovation side of the whole thing. And the other thing you mentioned was the part of communicating the vision to people so that they can see exactly how this thing can work. You have the vision, you have the big picture, but people were like, this thing cannot work. So that created a kind of challenges, and I'm trying to reiterate this so that the viewers can also get a summary from what you just said. Thank you so much for that. All right, so the other thing I wanted to ask, I think we've spoken about it briefly, was the part of the reason why you guys went for e-waste. Why was it e-waste? And I think we have spoken about that because you saw it much available in different places, right? But did you have in mind of any other environmental vision behind it? Were there things that you thought about that are kind of environmental benefits that made you embrace the use of e-waste? Are there anything like that?
Yeah, because now we all on recycle, reuse, then innovate. With that movement, we are trying to create awareness of how kids can see the disposed electronics in their household or in their community as an opportunity to be innovative. So we come up with that movement of recycle, reuse, and innovate, because most here in our country, you find most of the old technology doesn't go to be recycled. You find it discarded, like in dump sites, like in cities you find them also in the road. So with that, we can create awareness to these kids that when you see a certain electronic gadget, you can see some LEDs, you can see some capacitors. These are the uses of a capacitor. These are the uses of a battery, and these are the harmful sides. You see, there is the positive side and the negative side. You show them how to dispose them. You show them how to check if the battery is still alive, and if it is not alive, how he or she can dispose that battery. So we are also creating an awareness in also keeping a clean, green environment. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very profound. I have to write down a lot of things, from this session. All right, so I really appreciate that part of creating the awareness of people making use of a kind of recycling and promoting clean green environment. Yes, I love that part. All right, thank you so much. So another question here is, when you were the first project that came up, that's bioprotective arm that came up. Can you remember the first person that wore the device? Can you remember? And how emotional were you when you saw that people were using what you built?
Okay. Back in 2013, the first prototype that perfectly worked, so it was still designed from the e-waste materials, background instruments like thrown away, circuit board, that is wood, lava. There was this guy who was employed in a factory where they melt down metal, and they create iron shapes and some metals to do the, let's say they create metal bars and iron shapes. During the process of all his manual labor work, he was cut. He first fell. He stepped on a hot metal bar. But the time he was jumping away from the heat, from that incident, he fell down. Then there was another metal bar that hit his left arm very hard, that he had to be amputated because some of the nerves, they were damaged completely, and the doctor said the hand might kill him because there are nerves that need to be cut. Then it was damaged extremely. Now this person, he happened to be, like, let's say 1 kilometer away from where we live. And the first story that was taken by a TV station by then, it was called GBS by then. Then it followed another TV station that was called K24. Still it's K24. Now, they took the story of how we create artificial limbs, though that time we had no person to test it with. Now in real time. Now, this guy happened to hear our story, and he just came He never wanted anything to do with to be paid or to be or to buy. He just wanted if it can work on him. By that time, we had already done our research and came up on with a myoprosthetic arm, which is a lowering on our elbow level disarticulation hand. Now it wasn't attaching out to the brain. It was attaching out to the muscles. Let's say the extensions of muscles that were cut and remained. There's a way we can tap them because they can receive signals from the brain, that is from the motor center on that is behind the cerebellum. Now those signals, they have to run through various parts of the body. Now they extend to the hand, which is cut on a nerve level. Then this guy came. He wanted to see if it can work or it's just stories we do with the TV, maybe to get famous, maybe to just scare people, or maybe show them we have ideas. Now he came to test us. He's a well-up guy because the company already insured him. He gave him a proper job, money. He wasn't poor. Now what he wanted now to be is that if that thing can work for little time, then we attach on the bicep. This is the section that we attach to the sensor, the electrodes, to measure the muscle movement. That is the transductions of ion currents that are moving inside the muscle on a structure known as the sarcomere, where the myosin adapting where they are striding to create a hip of a bicep. When you do your hand like this, they release a current. Yeah, they release a current using a component or let's say a chemical known as phosphorus and calcium, mostly calcium. The calcium creates a depolarization where the hand, let's say the brain creates a depolarization, that is electrical current or let's say brain pulse. While it travels through various types of nerve, median nerve or radial nerve, when it is attached to the muscle, that electrical current discharges the chemical, which is calcium, stored in the muscle. Now, along the palaceollar, let's say the palaceollar containment that carries that ion or the calcium ion, they discharge, creating an electrical current that travels through the skin, then to almost, let's say, 3 millimeters above the skin. Then these electrodes attached to it, they can measure that current, then amplify it, then they go through some various computation, which is not that big. Program of allowed 12 KB can do this. Now, the small hand that we created, this man came and we attached it along the bicep. Then we told him, try to think you are lifting something. During that moment, the small hand, it's clubbed at the hood. It was just 1 degree arm. It wasn't. It had no several degrees of motion. It was just grabbing and holding, just like that, grabbing and holding. Then the left of the hand from the shoulder level, you can rotate the hand. That's where you get the second motion of rotation along the x-axis and the y-axis. Now, this guy, the way we do it has worked. The guy he even cried by then. We saw the tear on his left eye. He cried. The way we saw it, he lifted our this is possible. And we can also do it all circuit, a more corporate circuit. By then let's say we didn't have any. We didn't get the idea from anywhere, from let's say university or anywhere. We are just self-taught with that passion and with that capability and with that trying to give ourselves to the society. In order what we have, we can share with the society. But then we never looked about money. We never looked about high class level of living. We thought of what we have in our mind, which is not taught in our schools. We can, let's say in so many schools, we can try to make it or learn in our own way to show the world. We have the capability, because every person has a different. We are born different with different talents, with different capabilities, and with these capabilities, in a given chance, everyone can do something which is extraordinary. Now, when we saw that guy, back to the story, when we saw that guy, how he felt, the way he cried, we felt some joy. Let's say some joy, and we started now doing a serious work. We had to dig deep now to understand the neuroanatomy itself. We had to go to hospitals, make friends with doctors to understand how the system works. Sometimes even doctors, they would let us in a surgeon room to see how it is being done. They're not the critical surgery session, but just, let's say, a hand being cut, how the pedons look like, how the treatment goes. So a cut don't look sick. How when the amputated person, how they have to amputate the person and pull at the knot or the tendons at the nerve in order for them not to be sick later. Now, the joy that came to us, brought by that guy, made now us to think of creating a neural road biopotential headset receiver now. This gadget. Yeah. This gadget now to pick the then convert into a motion through various artificial integration. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So this gadget is what helps to make it. This was not built from onset, right? This was just later on, right?
Yeah.
So all of the narration you gave earlier was that 2013. I just wanted to confirm, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, that's fantastic, and I love the part that after the all of the sessions that the people that try to use it, it brought joy into your heart, and that's, I know, will help you to want to do more actually, and that's one of the things. That's the way it works. When you see that your effort is bringing joy, not just giving you money, but people are using it and their life is getting better, they are feeling happy again. And I know that alone will motivate people more. And you spoke about a bit of, you have different ideas, different. I just wanted to ask at this point, the two of you. I know that the two of you, you are partners. You are partners in innovation. So how do you balance ideas? I know, because the reason I'm asking this is I know that there will be a lot of time that you need to disagree, a time to make decisions. So how do you guys balance that aspect? Moses, do you want to?
Okay. Now, the way we are, or the way we are born, we have that, let's say, almost all the same capability of doing the way we do our things. That is, we are both talented in programming. Programming is not an issue. We do the C++, we do the Python, we also do the CSS, and etc. Now, the Java, etc. Now, we have that capability of doing like the same thing together. If individually, the way we are capable personally to do like the way I can do things, he can do those things at the same time, let's say. And also, sometimes we argue, and we go argue into something and agreement. It is going to be like this. He says it is going to be like this. But after all the conversation, we look at ourselves and see what is going to benefit for the project that we have come up with. Because in everything, when we start doing something, first of all, we look how will it benefit. Is there a gap in the market? How are we going to help the people? Or how are we going to solve the problem that is facing maybe a certain group of people? And from now there, we come up now to the interest of the project and leave our own differences. We leave them and now go to concentrate to the project. And from that, we go on how to raise money. As earlier we said, we do repair. Sometimes we go and do some repairs in factories. Maybe we can be called to repair household items like TV. And from there, we now try to balance between our daily lives and now the project. But most of the time, we forgot living our lives. And now we found ourselves all being in the lab. Because of all, maybe to make a project work. Because that is the greatest joy when you see something work. Yeah.
The part of human being, there is a part that we always will want to disagree at one point, and the joy of it is that every disagreement at some point will help us to find a better way. Everything is just going smooth. There's nobody objecting, there's nobody questioning. There's high tendency of falling into probably error or things that may not work well. And I like the part that you're able to balance the two, balance your ideas. And I love the part that David mentioned, that the two of you have the ability to do as several things together. You can program, you can write codes, and all of that. You spoke about Java, you do Python, and all of those things. And I really love that part, that you didn't leave it at the point of just being local. You are trying to build more on your expertise, and that's that for me. And that's one of the things we celebrate at Afrit Project. We really love people innovating, and after innovation, they're able to build on that for the global space. All right. So as we are on this call now, a lot of people are watching us who are not engineers. They are not technical. They really don't know what this bioprotective arm is all about. Can you, in a layman language, explain what it is and what it does? Just layman language. No, don't use technical. Don't use neuro. All of those. Don't use all this technical language. Can you say it in layman language?
Okay. The bio-robotic hand is a hand that is created to help people who get involved in accidents like factory accidents. There are diseases that cause also the muscle not to move. There are also neurological diseases, that is. And also there are some other, like it can be road accidents. There can be a whole aspect that bring out the amputation. So we decided, how can we help? For example, here in Kenya, we have like 1 million people who have been amputated. So we decided, how can we help them? That's when we came up with the bioprosthetic hand. A bioprosthetic hand, we have two types. There is a hand that can be able to tap the muscle, the signal of the muscle, and it can be able to hold and release. Compared to the old orthopedic, now the old hands that use the hook. Now these are more fashionable and designed hands to help the person living with disability to do the day-to-day work. And also now we have the mind control. So with the help of the headset receiver, we have something known like a helmet. This helmet will tap the signals of the brain. When it taps the signals of the brain, it sends now the signals wirelessly to the hand that will be attached in your shoulders. And this, when you think or try to do something, the hand will act accordingly to what you are going to the accordingly to the action. Maybe you want to grab or to release. Yeah. Is that clear?
Yes, yes, I think it's clear enough, just to, speak about people who, by one reason or the other, lost their body,
Yeah.
accidents, whether that's by road, factory, and all of that. This will help them to be able to at least do a few things that they cannot do without their part of the body, and that I think that's where the explanatory. Yes, I think that's the explanatory. Thank you very much. Thank you
Oh,
so much. Okay. So as we begin to wrap up this section, I just wanted to touch on, you guys are innovators, right? So being an African innovator, what do you think is the reality of funding? So how do you think people can approach the place of getting funding for their project? So the reason I'm asking this is there are people that are watching us that they are innovators. They are building one things or the other. So what advice do you have for other innovators who feel that they are stuck because of lack of resources, lack of funding? They don't have people to give them money to do what they want to do. What is your advice to people like that? A lot of people building a lot of stuffs here and there, but some people feel like, oh, because I don't have money, because people are not supporting me, so they are now stuck. What is your advice to them, being an African innovator here?
okay. We Africans, we are gifted in a different way. We Africans, we have capabilities. Despite let's say somebody to hold our hand, lacking that guy, lacking resources, lacking materials, that is, lacking advice, a good advice from people. Um, we are gifted differently, and what I would say is that we, if if now we can't believe in ourselves, that is, have that mind of knowing ourselves we are capable, then if we are stuck with the mind of that mind unity, having yourself, knowing yourself, understanding what you need, uh, being visionary the way you are, you can do great. Despite not having anything to support us or material, let's say, that good advice that I have said, we can do it the way we are. If he doesn't have something, if he doesn't have let's say the resource is so now limited. There are people, if we can reach out, there are people who are willing now to help, or maybe if you can tell somebody who you surely believe or understand this guy can, or there is something that can tell you, that tells somebody, if it is the right time to express yourself to somebody who has the resource, to share some resources. Let's say that's the view I have, to encourage persons who are trying to do something and they have limited time, limited resource or material.
Yeah, so if I may summarize that, I think that's all about having an open mind and then being able to connect. You spoke about seeking advice. You spoke about having somebody to hold your hand, so like a mentor. So those person will need like a mentor who can help them, and in the place of when they are stuck in their mind, those people can help them, enlighten them. You spoke about connecting to people, networking, which is very important. Those things can help them get access to resources that they need. All right. So the last question here, as I'll be asking either of you who can go for it. I think, okay, that the second to the last, I beg your pardon. So now, being featured on African Luminary of the Month, which is from the Africa Project, you are a role model to people, right? So how does the responsibility feel? How do you think young Africans that are hearing you right now, what advice do you have for them? Young Africans right now who are looking up to people like you, what advice do you want to give? What is your message to young Africans around the continent of Africa?
You tell them that day by day, what you do, what you think, and what you know deep inside you is who you become. Because what we do in ourselves in day to day, we do believe that small steps that you make every day will one day will take you to your destination. And also, we tell them everything need discipline, need hard work. Hard work also needs commitment and consistency, and also you need to know the direction you want to take. Because most of the young people, they are gifted and good differently, because most of them get lost in between. I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a doctor, no, you need to concentrate on one line. And say that every day what you do, like you make those baby steps every day. It's the one that will come and make you to become, because it's for us, like the secret we use since we were 14 years. We use the secret of learning just one thing in a day. So in a year, you have learned 365 things new you didn't know. And you are not going to stress yourself. So we want to tell them that everything is possible when you think and when you try to not to see the bad. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Let's hear from you too.
Yeah. Something. What I know, to do something, first you have to believe in yourself for starters. You have to be you. You don't have to hear from people. You are like this, because let's say sometimes our parents they dedicate tell us to become a doctor. You are not a doctor. Now, having that talent of becoming, let's say, if you want to be great, follow your talent. Don't follow anything, follow your talent. Go to school and run that talent. If that thing you concentrate with it is going to make you become someone you wish yourself to become in the future. Live the dream. At first, that dream, let it be. Don't let other people's dream make you to be worried or not to focus. You are yourself, and no one else in this world is going to support you except yourself.
That's very fantastic. Thank you so much. Both of you emphasized more on the bit of being focused and also consistency. Know what you want to do, be focused, and be consistent in doing it. Thank you so much for that advice to young people who are watching us right now across the globe. I know this is not just all about Africa. You guys are in Kenya, and we are taking this session from Nigeria, and across Africa. The people outside Africa are watching us, and I know that it's going to benefit the people watching us, especially the younger generation, right? So as I want to ask this here, which is something around support. What are the things that what are the next thing you are building? What are the things that you're also doing? And the reason why I'm asking this is that people watching, you might have people who are really interested in supporting you, who are ready to give their own hand of appreciation to what you guys have been doing. What are the projects that you guys are doing, and if they are products, you can use this avenue to sell, to advertise. Actually, you have the floor. Yeah.
We do go to, right now what we are doing, we are going to school. Here we call them the primary school, and also the secondaries where we go and teach the young ones on how to be innovative and how to come up with their own thoughts, not of what we have done, but what they can, also them themselves, what they can do. And also we are trying to also create the awareness about the how to clean the environment, the e-waste from the environment. And also we can add if there is anyone who can help, who can call us, maybe go and showcase the ideas that we have, because we have almost 15 projects that are working. We have a robot that is known as a medical robot that can motivate kids that want to learn doctors in the future. We have also engineer kits that we have made on how kids can be able to learn the simple basics of electronics. And also we would be very great if in the near future we want to start a movement, and also let's say it's like a place where people will come and showcase, like all of us from Africa, like African talent. So that is our main goal. And right now, because of resources, we don't have the capacity to start a show that where most people will be coming out of all the countries in Africa to showcase what they have. And now we'll be having a panel of judges that will be judging accordingly.
Thank you so much. Thank you very, very much. We really appreciate your time, David and Moses, for that wonderful session that you have granted to the viewers to hear you out, and also your advice to really appreciate that. This is Afric Projects, and we really appreciate everyone staying by, and we believe that this session will have given you an insight about the innovations that David and Moses came up with, and the background to that project, bio robotic prosthetic arm. And again, we really want to use this opportunity to encourage young Africans who are trying to do one thing or the other. We want to believe that as much as you are putting in much effort, the world is ready to hear you. The world is ready to hear you. And Afric Project is here to put you out there. And that's one thing that we do, getting people who are done a lot of work but are not really encouraged, and also not really recognized. And that is why we have taken it upon ourselves to feature them out, and also to spotlight them. So, and if you have anybody that you think that is doing something amazing in your area, and you know them so well, you can just you can comment in the chat box below and mention the person's name, and also visit our website. Is inside this the caption downward here, to suggest the person, what the person have done, and why you think we should feature the person on our platform. It's free of charge for anybody that is doing something innovative and amazing that the continent needs to see it, the world needs to see it. So do well to suggest that person. And if you are watching us and you have not subscribed to our channel, please subscribe. Click the button for notification, so that when any other video comes up, you'll be the first person to see it. And till I see you next time, my name is Yemi from Afric Projects. Bye for now, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.